Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in for another episode. A couple of days ago, I posted a poll on my YouTube channel regarding where the viewers wanted me to be fishing next year. And the results at this point are pretty conclusive. I've gotten about 1,000 people who responded to it, so that's a pretty good poll size. And honestly, after about 300 votes, the fluctuation in percentage for each vote has not changed much. So at this point, I don't feel like adding another 10,000 votes to this would really change the conclusion of what the poll was. So I want to go through the poll results because one, it is not surprising in some manners and extremely surprising to me in other manners. And I think it provides me with some good insight as to what the overall fan base really expects out of me. And there is some value to this to me because if I do decide to go that direction, it's something that I think I'll be making content around. And therefore, if the viewers want me to be there, hopefully they're more engaged from that standpoint. But at the same time, it also gives me some concerns for the organizations out there. And I think there's probably some value to the organizations in the results of this poll as well, because it really was pretty surprising. So, having said all of that, I would like to go through the results. I don't think prior to the poll, I would have been surprised to see the Bassmaster Opens be the number one choice. And it was the number one choice. 47% of the viewers wanted me to fish the Bassmaster Opens in 2025. And I don't think that's a surprise. The general public, at this point, it's pretty much solidified that the Bassmaster Elite Series and Opens is the fan favorite. That was something that as soon as Major League Fishing kind of broke away from the Bassmaster Tour, or the anglers left the Bassmaster Tour, it definitely seemed like at that point that the division amongst fans was heavily weighted towards Bassmaster. So, from that standpoint, it was not surprising to see that a good chunk of the vote, roughly half the vote, wanted me to do that. What I was surprised about was the second place. The second place with 22% of the vote is the NPFL. And that's surprising to me because I think if you were to talk to the majority of anglers, they view the NPFL as probably the third level amongst the three organizations that I listed. But the fans out there want me to fish it. Now, there could be a couple of reasons to that, I guess. They could be they really are gaining some attention or some like towards the MPFL after the MPFL announced that they would not be having forward facing sonar moving forward. So that could be something that the fans appreciated and are starting to gravitate towards. It could be because I've gotten a lot of comments from fans telling me that I should go to the MPFL because they don't have forward facing sonar. And I've been told by a lot of fans I can't compete with the people using forward facing sonar. Now, I would strongly disagree with that, but that could be a reason why some people were selecting the NPFL because they thought it was the best place for me to go and not necessarily the best place where they would generally say they want somebody to go. In either case, the NPFL got about a quarter of the vote, which is a pretty strong percentage. Third place to the vote with 18% of the overall tally. So, 180 or so votes out of the roughly 1,000 people that cast the vote wanted me to concentrate on YouTube. And that surprised me from the standpoint that that is a good portion of people saying just concentrate on YouTube. The organizations in the fishing tournament fishing standpoint doesn't really matter to them. They'd rather me put out content to help them catch more bass or to entertain them. In either case, they want me just to do YouTube content. And that was interesting to me because I didn't think that that would place uh, above the other three organizations. And I guess with that, part of the interesting part is there's a strong case to be made that that's probably a really good thing for me to do because there's no real expense in making YouTube content. Yes, there's gas money. Yes, there's launch fees and travel, I guess, to go to some of the lakes, but I'm not paying an entry fee to make YouTube content. And, I was talking to my buddy Miles Berghoff this morning, just talking about, the overall state of the industry. And the reality is, to fish the Bass Pro Tour last year cost me close to $70,000. Entry fees alone were 40,000 plus. So then you tack in a couple $1,000s for each tournament travel, and you're getting way up there in expense. So for a professional angler to win that money back, you almost have to cash a check you do have to cash a check in every tournament to basically break even. So you almost have to view tournaments in today's day and age as a marketing vehicle, which is what I consider fishing to be anyways, but on a personal brand level, it's really a way for an angler to market and build their own personal brand. So if there's enough value in fishing those tournaments for that personal brand to grow and to market themselves, then there's value in it. But if you're looking just to make money from the tournaments, you're almost in a way just trying to break even on your expenses, your total full year's expenses to fish those tournaments. And there's a lot of viewers that identified that, and a lot of comments that people made where they're like, Matt, it's just a better business decision to do YouTube. And that's why I'd rather you do YouTube. And a lot of them even said selfishly, I get more impact out of you doing YouTube content than I do you fishing tournaments. So I'd rather you just concentrate on YouTube. But that was very interesting to me. It really kind of opened up my eyes as to how a lot of the viewers don't really care where I fish. They really don't think it even matters. They'd rather I just keep making content. And as much as I view myself as a professional angler, a tournament angler, it continues to, really be thrown in my face that I'm really a content creator at this point, which I'm okay with as well, but I still want to fish some tournaments. And then in last place was the Major League Fishing Invitationals with 14% of the vote, which was very, very surprising to me. As an angler, I think most of the tournament anglers and competitors would view the invitationals, say there's a lot of very positive things about the invitationals when you compare it to your other choices, whether it's the MPFL or the Bassmaster Opens. Um, and it kind of was not a fan favorite by any means, which again was surprising to me. And it should be, in my opinion, concerning to Major League Fishing to see these results. We're not talking about a small group of people. We're talking about 1,000 people from the fishing community that cast the vote here. And honestly, we're a small community to begin with. So I was very surprised to even get 1,000 people to cast a vote on this. But what the general public is saying to me, at least, is I shouldn't even waste my time with Major League Fishing. And if the general public's saying this, if I were a sponsor of Major League Fishing, this would be concerning to me. It would indicate, hey, maybe we actually should be putting sponsor dollars elsewhere because the fans appear to not want anglers to fish there or appear to not really be interested in watching. Now that to me, as somebody who has fished it for a long time, maybe I'm somewhat jaded because I feel like I have a relationship with Major League Fishing. I feel like it has been good for me in my career. So from that standpoint, I can't sit here and say that it hasn't overall had an impact. It just was really surprising to see the fans put it below both the NPFL and just YouTube content. Like it was very surprising to see that. So uh, I don't I don't know exactly what to make from that. You could take the logic that if people want me to fish MPFL because there's no live scope, well, Major League Fishing got rid of it for one of the days of competition. So there's some similarities there as well. Um, it's interesting. I have not made a decision yet. I will not make a decision until I have a few questions that I have answered for Major League Fishing, as well as get to see the schedules from some of these other organizations. Because the schedules still aren't out, and without seeing the schedules, you can't just sit here and say I'm going to do this or that because you don't even know when the dates are and what potential conflicts you might have. As a sponsored angler, I do have a lot of other obligations that I need to make sure I can attend. There's a lot of events that I would like to be able to attend, and without seeing the schedule, I can't make a decision here. I will let you guys know as soon as I know what that decision is. Um, but in the meantime, I just want to say thank you to all of you that responded to this poll because it really did provide me some input to take into account when making my decision. And there's a lot of things I'm taking into account. Schedule is just one. I want to see rules and potential rule changes. I want to look at overall payouts, which honestly are terrible and embarrassing, to even talk about because, like I just said, you're hoping to break even, which just blows my mind that that's where tournament fishing has gotten this day. We'd be much better off all just showing up at a ramp and fishing for 100% payback. That's just a thought. But I also want to see potential scheduling conflicts. I think it's worth talking about. Uh, maybe there's potential I can fish a couple of different things. Maybe there's potential I don't fish anything. Maybe there's potential I just fish local. I don't know yet. But the point is, there's a lot of different things to take into account before making the decision. And overall, it's a decision that I'm going to make that hopefully benefits my overall brand and my business positively. So we'll let you know when that time happens. Otherwise, I just want to say thanks again for voting. I really do appreciate it. And we'll have a new tip video coming out tomorrow. So thanks for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button. If you like my content, guys, please subscribe to the channel. That would mean a lot as well. And otherwise, stay tuned. We'll have a new one coming out tomorrow.